Hey there, Hayden here from AMB, and today we're looking at the Trek Marlin 8. Now this is a trail hardtail that really encompasses everything that I feel Trek first set out to accomplish back in 1976 when they first went into manufacturing. So this bike has a broad mix of features and gives a real eclectic ride experience. It's got everything from 29-inch wheels to a dropper post and pannier rack mounts. Let's go through it. So when we're looking at the features of this Trek Marlin 8, we can start at the front. So at the front we've got a RockShox Judy fork. It's got 100mm of travel, an air spring, and rebound and compression adjust. One thing worth of note, quick release axle spacing at the bottom and a straight steerer tube. More on that later. Moving through towards the middle, we've got a Trans X dropper post. This is an extra large with 150mm of drop. Beautiful post. And towards the back, we've got a SRAM SX Eagle 12-speed drivetrain, giving that full 50-tooth range. Braking duties are taken by the ever-reliable Shimano MT200. We've also got a short stem, wide bar, and some nice 2.4-inch Maxxis tyres. So the Marlin 8 is available in 8 different sizes. You heard me right, 8 different sizes. That also covers 3 different wheel sizes. So the extra small has 26-inch wheels. Then we move right up to the extra large. We've got 29-inch wheels. This extra large that I've been riding has 29-inch wheels, 495mm reach. The head tube angle is 66.5 degrees, with the seat tube angle being 73.5 degrees. Now you wouldn't be amiss to think that with numbers like that, this would be a highly capable trail hardtail, but to me, this bike falls a little bit more in the XC side of things. It has a much more compliant character thanks in part to its 5mm axles, surprisingly smooth 32mm fork and narrow 28-hole rims. While this compliance was welcome at lower speeds, I did feel that it came at a slight cost when trying to really push it down the descents. Alas, it seems with this bike we can't have our cake and eat it too. I did feel that the RockShox Judy fork did a fantastic job of soaking up any trail chatter that I was encountering going down the hill. There was a lot of flex from the 9mm quick release. I don't know if the 32mm chassis or 1 1/8 steerer was also contributing to that, but under heavy braking I could feel it wobbling a bit underneath me. But at lower speeds and through technical trails, this bike handled really well. I found the ergonomics on this bike really comfortable. The stack height is 637mm on this extra large, which with about 20mm to play with on the steerer spaces, let me really dial in the front end height as I needed. Pair that with a 60mm stem and a nice wide alloy bar. Comfortable all day. Same can be said for the seat. It really suited my sit bones. Nice and cushiony, not too hard, not too wide, not too narrow, just right. A quick glance at the component sheet for this bike will show you how much effort Trek have gone to really size not only the frame, but the components relative to the rider that's going to be on it. So you go through everything from fork travel, stem length, dropper post, drop, crank length, and tyre choice varies across the range from extra small all the way up to extra large. This extra large has a 60mm stem, 150mm dropper, and 175mm cranks that all function well and are fit for purpose. So SRAM's SX Eagle drivetrain is pretty reliable performer. We've got 12 speeds within a range of 11 to 50. The shifts aren't as crisp as what you would get from an equivalent Shimano drivetrain, but you do have one extra speed in there compared to a similar price point Shimano that's normally at an 11 speed. Looking towards the front, we've got a set of cranks here coming at 175mm on the extra large. There is a chain guide, which is a nice touch. No one wants to drop their chain mid-ride. And a square taper bottom bracket. So the square taper bottom bracket is not as strong as an interface as your typical two-piece that we see now with an external bottom bracket. Keeping on with that theme, there are a few other things here that are almost from yesteryear in terms of spec choice. We've got quick release cup and cone hubs and a 1 1/8 steerer. They all work fine, but down the road, if you're going to be looking to upgrade this bike, you're going to have to be really careful with the parts you choose, and you may have to upgrade associated systems just so you can get the latest and greatest in a particular part. So how does it all come together on the trail? What's the fun factor? Well, you just heard me talking about the hubs, the bottom bracket, the steerer, all being stuff that's maybe not the latest and greatest, but you know what? When you're out there on the single track, you don't really notice. this bike is beautifully compliant. Because it's got a narrow fork, narrow rims, quick release hubs, there's lots of flex in the system. So when you're going zipping through tight single track, particularly really chattery stuff, that all works really well with the fork that has a nice smooth action to soak up any bumps. This bike loves tight technical single track and zipping around in your local trails. I will say this chassis did occasionally feel a little overwhelmed if I, intentionally or not, ended up on some black runs or something with some really high speed jumps, big G-outs and turns. That's just a function of the compliance and flex that I was talking about previously. Fortunately, we've got 180mm front rotor and a long travel dropper post, so even when things get a little out of hand, you've got the controls and the space there to rein things back in and keep everything steady. I would mention that I would be avoiding giving this bike to someone who's a really over-exuberant jumper or someone who wants to learn how to jump. The wheels did a great job on single track and are really fit for purpose, but I think if you're going to be taking this thing off some big jumps and trying to learn tricks or anything, like some people like to do with their trail hardtail, I'm not sure the wheels will be up to the task. If you are that kind of rider, I'd recommend keeping it in the Trek brand, but looking at the Roscoe. We had Georgina test one of those a few issues ago. It's available on our website, and that is the big air and jumps to this bike's tight technical single track. So in all, I think Trek have delivered a bike here that paints a really broad brush. It can suit anyone from someone who's going bike packing thanks to the pannier racks to someone who's looking to get into some cross-country racing. There's a really eclectic mix of features and part spec here that, if you're in the right market for it, will be perfect for you. So what's our take? This bike's available in 8 sizes. So regardless of your age, if you're a rider who wants to get out there and enjoy some single track, maybe do a little bit of bike packing, a whole lot of adventuring, this Marlin would be perfect for you. Not ideal for someone who wants to be hitting the black diamond stuff, doing jumps, trying to learn tricks, getting a bit crazy. You're probably better off looking at something like a Trek Roscoe, but this Marlin is the ultimate adventure machine at under $2,000.